Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We are live and my phone is ringing. Um, Sorry about that. And I can't stop it. There we go. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I am calling to order the meeting of the Annapolis Art and Public Places Commission on May 28th at 7:01 p.m. Mr. Vice Chair, could you please do a roll call?
Absolutely. 701. Lynn.
Here.
David is here. Chrissa is not here just yet. Doesn't look like it. Jim is also not here at the moment. Cynthia.
Here.
All right. Joan.
Here.
Very vibrant. Shelley. You're on mute, by the way. I couldn't hear you. And Barbara.
Here.
Fantastic.
Chrissa did send her regrets.
Chrissa will not be here.
No, she will not be here. I have
Okay.
not heard from Jim. Anybody talk to Jim today? No?
No.
Okay.
Maybe he'll pop in, or maybe he's having problems getting access.
Maybe. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Okay. We need an approval of the agenda. So, are there any changes requested to the agenda? Did I miss anything? I usually ask, but just to be on the safe side. No? Okay. Everybody okay with the agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We don't actually need a vote for that, but and David, I saw that you sent an
update.
edit to the minutes.
My apology to Shelley. I had her last name wrong for some strange reason. I don't know why, but I don't know where that even came from. But I just want to update the meetings with her proper name, and I apology to Shelley about that.
David, no problem. It's no problem.
Okay. Okay, so we will replace that in the there's Jim. We will replace that in the Google folder so that we have the correct version. I didn't move it. But are there any other requested changes to the minutes? If not, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes for our records.
Nope,
Can I get a motion?
I second.
No, I need a motion first. I need it first.
A first.
Okay. Can I get a second?
Second.
No.
Thank you. Alrighty. So
I just wanted to say thank you, David. The minutes were very, very good.
Oh, cool. We say a lot of stuff during the 2 hours here, so it's a lot to.
I can't believe you listened through it all.
Well, David, I mean, we only have to we are only supposed to record action minutes. So the minutes that you did were wonderful, and I love that you did everything in bold because it was really easy for me to go back and see find the things that I was looking for like quickly. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So we have proposals from two groups, Annapolis Pride and Art Farm. I would like to suspend the rules to have them go ahead and present this evening. We've all reviewed their proposals. So could I get a motion to suspend the rules? Oh, yes, Barbara.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thanks. I move to suspend the rules.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
No, we need a discussion about this.
Okay, then go ahead. Okay, so there's a request for discussion. So
Yeah,
we have a motion
That's
on
why I
the
was
floor. It's
raising my
time-
hand.
Okay,
I just
Okay,
wanted
so-
to, I guess, express that could we have some discussion or could we vote on when, ahead of time when we're going to propose a change to the procedure? I just feel like we should probably all applicants should follow the same procedure. I know it might be a timeliness issue, but I feel strongly that we have to be consistent in our approach.
That's a
just
very good,
my
that's a very-
concern.
yeah, that's a very good point, Joan. Thank you for that. We couldn't vote before the meeting. I mean, I guess we could have voted at our last meeting to go ahead but we didn't even know what we would have whether we would have proposals. But what I'll say is, when we meet next month for our work session, we can absolutely, revisit this issue and make sure and develop a timeline that's more workable for us.
The problem,
Okay.
may I speak?
Hang on. Shelley, did you have something? Hang on,
Yeah.
Jim.
Jim,
Did
can
you have
go ahead.
something? Okay,
Yeah.
Jim, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt. You know, these organizations that come to us for these big bucks, I mean, 17 grand is not an insignificant amount of money. The problem that I have is these are pretty well organized groups. And part of the preparation that they need to understand is that, you know, the way we operate is that we accept their presentation on one night and then we hear a presentation directly from them the following meeting. And at that meeting, after they're done and after the other presenters are done, we have a vote. And I don't think that's too much to ask for these groups because most of these groups have executive directors or have people in charge, have boards, whatever. It just seems it's a small thing to ask for them to actually show us some respect, that they come to our meetings and speak up if they really need this money. Now, I am not opposed at all to Pride getting the money tonight if we have to do it tonight. And we probably do because the festival is, you know, next weekend. So I think I just feel that we're
It's this Saturday. It's this Saturday.
I said I said this weekend. And I just feel that we need to, you know, we're being forced to act on it because they're not here. But, you know, I just think that's inappropriate. And I think they ought to be made to know that if they don't show up, they don't get the money, period.
But they're here.
Okay.
So, okay,
If
Joan,
they're
go
here to
ahead.
speak, that's great.
Joan, go ahead. And then Shelley, I'll
And then we'll do
come
the
back
two
to you. Joan had her hand raised. Go ahead, Joan.
Thank you. I just would like to say I mean, I guess we will vote on this evening, but in the future, I would, meaning this will affect my vote, the fact that we did it out of procedural normalcy. But I'm happy to maybe take a look at how our procedure could work more effectively in the future. But I have to make my vote based on the current rules. But just for people's information, that's all.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Joan. Shelley.
And I agree with Joan. We need to stick to procedure, and some of these groups are coming in like expecting money tomorrow. And with respect to the committee, they should be thinking, you know, much more forward thinking about asking. It's quite a significant amount of money. I've never seen anything like this. Emergency funds getting, they're not even emergency funds, but getting processed so quickly. It's not like they are worthy of funding. It just feels like we're doling money out without without consideration, we're not spending the time that we need to spend on thinking about what's best for how we need to spend our money. And I'm with Joan, I'm gonna stick with procedure. I think that this isn't the best way to go. It doesn't set a good precedent.
Can you
So-
tell me what your concern is? Because I'm a little confused. We will still follow the procedure. The only thing we're not doing is discussing whether or not we want them to come and make a presentation
Mhm.
prior, wait, hang on, in a meeting prior. Then we invite them to make a presentation in the next meeting. So what we're doing is we're voting on whether they can make a presentation in this meeting. And then we're going to allow them, if they are allowed, if we have the vote to allow them to make a presentation this evening, they will make said presentation, and then we will have the discussion as we normally do after their presentation.
Right,
So
no.
I'm not sure what the concern is.
Well, it's not so much concern, Lynn, is it's just that other organizations haven't been afforded that same benefit, which seems unfair. We need time to digest and think about it. That's the whole reason I would assume that we have the presentation the first month, and then the second month we have the vote.
No, that's not how it goes. They make the presentation and we vote on the same night.
Okay, what I mean is that we read and we discuss it as a group, whether or not we want. We think about it, we digest it, we discuss it. The next month we do the presentation and the vote. This is not, it's all being collapsed. There's no ability for us to like kind of discern what we want. And also it's not the organizations in the past that haven't been afforded that same comfort of just being able to do it in one night. I feel like it's problematic. I don't feel like it's fair to the other organizations in the past.
Okay, thank you, Shelley. So there is a motion on the floor. And it has been moved and properly seconded. So David, can you do a roll call, please? Oh, Roz, yes.
Sorry, it
You have a
took me a
question?
second to move up. I was in the audience. As a director of recreation and parks, I do want to point out that we've made exceptions for other groups. So I'm hopeful that we will not treat this group different from any other groups. As you've so aptly pointed out, Lynn, it's not really a suspension of the rules. It's just doing what has also been done in the past. And it's not unusual to suspend the rules at council meetings with the alder people and the mayor and council. There have been times where the rules have been suspended and they've heard people at the same time. So I do want to point out that exceptions have been made in the past, and I certainly don't want us to treat the Pride Committee any differently from any other group. So I do want to point that out. And as Recreation and Parks Director, I would aptly step in at that point.
Thank you, Rosalind. Jim, and then Shelley, and we're gonna
I'd like
close
to know
this.
I'd just like to know what the most recent one exception is for the AIPPC.
We did it last month. So all of those ones we approved last month, we did the same exact thing.
No.
Yes.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Last month,
Yeah.
we suspended the rules. We heard presentations. And we made the award in the same day. We did it last month. And the reason why we did it was because a number of commissioners have said that the current process is cumbersome. It is not set in law. It is not in code. It was just a practice that we developed, but we are not skating around anything and we're not skipping anything. So, and we did this last month. So all of the ones we approved last month we suspended the rules, they made their presentation, and then we voted.
Then
We
why
did not discuss
did-
in the prior month, we did not, hang on, we did not discuss in the prior month their applications. Yes, Shelley?
We did know about these applications in advance because there were
You knew
ones-
about, you know about these in advance.
some of them, yes, not
No,
not
both of
other
them.
ones.
They are in the folder, and I sent emails that all of the documents are in the Google folder. If you have problems accessing them, please let me know. Please don't hesitate to call me. Then I sent an email saying, I just added the minutes to the folder. All of the documents are now in the folder. Please don't hesitate to call me if you have any problems accessing them. So you have had access to both of these presentations for 2 weeks now.
3 days.
No, 2 weeks.
Really.
2
And-
weeks. 2 weeks.
And also, these are, no, that's not 2 weeks. It was not.
It is 2 weeks. I can tell you when I put them in the folder. It's right there.
All right, I'm done.
It's been 2 weeks since you've had them. It has not been 3 days. It's been 3 days since you had it hasn't even been 3 days since you've had the minutes, because David sent the minutes. We put the minutes in before on last Thursday. So I'm not sure what you're talking about. Jim, go ahead.
Just briefly, obviously, this is something we need to discuss at our business meeting. And I'm hopeful that we can have some lengthy discussion on what we expect so that we have all of the information we really feel comfortable with. I don't think we can do that tonight.
So are you saying to me that you don't?
No, I'm
What
not saying
information
anything
don't
about
you
what
have?
I'm doing on this vote. All I'm saying is that, and please
What,
don't try to put words
what
in my
information?
when I'm speaking. I am saying that at our business meeting, we should discuss this further and review our agenda and how we want things done. And
I
that's all I'm
completely
saying.
agree. I completely agree with you, and that is what I said initially. But I am going to ask you, what information are you missing?
I'm not missing anything except that I do feel that we should get budgets from these people and we should know where the money's being spent.
Well, we don't.
Now, that's
okay.
not, I don't want to get into a lengthy debate on this particular.
Okay, but that is
Let's
not
just move
something
on.
that we have
move
traditionally
on, ma'am.
asked for. So, but each of them do provide a budget. All of the materials are in the folders.
But
And
I want
each
to
of
be
them
able
have
to,
provided a budget.
but I wanted,
Cynthia,
I just would rather.
Thank you, Jim. Cynthia,
Okay, the Chambers Park Summer Concert Series, the Greater Parole Community Association, we voted to support them, and we have in previous years. They really need our money. We made a vote to support their summer concert series, and they never received a notice of decision, and they have been waiting. They cannot book any of their musicians because they have not received our final notice of decision. They're getting quite
Cynthia.
desperate. They are a great
Cynthia.
group. Yeah.
Cynthia, thank you for telling me. But if you had sent that to me prior to when you heard that,
Well, Dallas,
I would have.
Dallas,
No, he did
Dallas
not.
Paris, excuse me, I have the floor. Dallas Paris has been waiting to hear a decision, a final decision, and he has not received that from you. And he cannot book anyone for the summer concert
Okay.
series, and the summer
Cynthia.
is here. So we
Cynthia,
need to
please.
do business. We have voted already on certain things, and the procedures are
Cynthia,
not
there
being
is a
followed.
motion on the
We-
floor about something completely different.
No,
You
it's not.
are out.
We
Yes,
do-
you are
Do
out
not
of
say
order.
I am out of
We-
line.
Cynthia,
We
we
need to
had a
complete
motion.
the business that we already voted on, because these
Cynthia, I
folks
sent him
need
an
our
email
support.
this evening. I sent
This
him an
is the
email.
Greater Parole Community Association. They deserve our
excuse me,
respect.
The Greater
They
Parole
deserve our
Community
respect.
Association did receive a notice of, they did receive the notice of approval. I sent it myself to Jeff and to Terrence. I realized this evening that I had not sent it to sent a notice to Dallas about the Chambers Park concert series. I sent him an email saying that the funds had been approved if he could please send me the schedule and I would get him the official notice within a day or two. I am sorry, I missed it. If you had said it to me, I would have done it right away, but I missed them. But I absolutely, Chambers Park has gotten their notice. I absolutely sent it to them. And actually, I think they got paid. We submitted their invoice already. So I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'll double check, but I'm almost positive we submitted their invoice. But we have a motion on the floor to suspend the rules, to hear presentations this evening from 2 groups for whom you have had the proposals and had the ability to review them. And David, I'm going to ask you to do a roll call. It has been moved and properly seconded. You're on mute.
I was on mute. Lynn, I'm sorry.
Yes.
David, yes. Chris is not here. Jim,
Yes.
Cynthia,
No.
Joan,
Yes.
Shelley,
No,
Barbara.
Yes.
1,
Motion
2,
carries.
3, 4, 5. Yes, 3 no's. Motion pass.
Motion carries. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have with us this evening from the representatives of Annapolis Pride. I'm so turned around now.
Count to 10.
I'm sorry.
Count to 10.
I don't need to count to 10. I just need to
Okay.
figure out Madeline, can you bring the people from Annapolis Pride forward?
yes, is that Heather?
Yes, that's Heather.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Heather, I'm sending a copy
I
of your
could not,
screen
I
to
was so
my
turned around I couldn't think of her
panelists.
name. Thank you.
If you hit accept, there you go.
Thank you, Heather. The commissioners have your proposal, but we would love to hear from you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for letting us come and talk to you tonight and for considering our proposal. I do have a short PowerPoint that I'm happy to share while I talk, if that would be helpful.
Sure. Madeline, can she share her screen?
Yep, you have the ability to share your screen.
Okay, I'm going to try to find what I want.
And we're all going to go on mute if we're not talking. So I'm going to.
I'm trying to window. There we go.
Shelley and David, can you mute your lines, please? Thank you.
I'm sorry, it's asking me for permission that I don't understand. Let me try one more time and then I will abandon trying to share a PowerPoint with you all. Well, it's not working.
Do you want to email it? You want to email it to me quickly?
Email it to you? Yeah. I will
Yeah, and then and you can go ahead and start talking, and in the meantime, I'll pull it up.
Okay. In that case, give me one moment, please. I will download it as a PDF. Export.
Or as okay. Or as a PowerPoint, that would probably.
Okay. Oh, let me do that. Absolutely. Let me do that. Hold on. I apologize, everyone. Here we go. So I'm sending it to you, Lynn, right?
To AIPPC.
Oh, sorry. Is it info@AI?
No, it's just send it to me. Just send it to me.
Gosh.
That's fine. Are you sending it to my Gmail account?
I'm doing it right now. I haven't gotten
Okay.
there yet. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
That's fine.
wasn't. I'm going to send it to the organization.
Oh, okay.
That you suggested. So I'm going to put an attachment. And to go. Just making sure this is the right one. 2024 presentation for IPPC. Okay, one moment. Okay, I'm hitting send, so you should
Oh,
have it. Okay, well, I'm sure everyone has had a chance to look at the proposal that we submitted. I think the big thing that I wanted to share with all of you tonight is that Annapolis Pride recently marked its 5th year in existence in Anne Arundel County, and our 5 years of being in our community and steadily growing have led us to an anticipated audience at our Pride Festival and Parade on Saturday of 10,000 people. And this is a huge number for us. It's a huge number for a lot of groups who seek to establish themselves in the community as a force for good, which is what we think of ourselves as. So we're very, very excited that this number is expected to attend. And the artists that we have engaged this year are artists who reflect our community in that they are most of them LGBTQ. They are a very diverse mix of artists, from marching bands to Latin bands to solo singers to dance groups to just a whole range for reflecting all demographics and all generations. We have 2 stages at the Pride Festival. We have a main stage in front of Maryland Hall. And then we have another stage on the Bates Athletic Field, which is more of a family-friendly environment. There'll be face painting. There'll be some games for kids. And so it's the first time we've had the room to give our attendees 2 different options of where to go to experience local artists, music and dance and performance. We have the usual suspects, if you remember from years past, any of you who've been there. Honey Soul is there again. We have, and very excited, Elle Rogers, a local singer who has been on The Voice this year and is a nationally known now artist. Our Grand Marshal, Christian Siriano, is an artist. He is from Annapolis. He went to design school. He's now an internationally known designer. He will be at a few different events over the weekend talking about how he got his start, how the arts helped him come out of his shell and become who he is now, which is, as I say, internationally famous. The whole lineup of artists are in your presentation, which I apologize, I wasn't able to pull up here. But the fact that we have this number of people coming and we're marking our 5th year anniversary, and we have more artists this year than we've ever had before. And speaking for myself, I'm the new development chair for Annapolis Pride. I started in March, but there was not someone in my role before I got here. Someone was there and then they moved out, so it was vacant. Why am I telling you that? Because I have big plans for the organization. The organization has big plans for themselves. And together, I think you're going to see a lot of really exciting things, whether it's a capital campaign to raise money for a center that we would like to open in the community so that people, young people especially, have a place to come. We can hold meetings, we can hold conferences and workshops. We've talked about mounting displays of art, running essay contests for young writers. We want to do some open mic nights. So the trajectory for Annapolis Pride is up. And as we grow, our engagement with the local arts community will also grow. And I think you will see us doing a lot of exciting and new things and bringing in a lot of people who aren't normally involved in the arts in our community. So that's what we're focused on and excited about. I can't hear
Very
anyone.
good. Thank you, thank you, Heather.
Okay.
Commissioners, are there any questions? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I will put these slides in our Google folder so that you all will have access to them.
No, it's very
Um,
short. I think it's maybe
yes.
5 total. Mhm.
Could you all see my screen?
Oh, you
Okay.
did?
Okay. Okay. All right, David, you have a question.
Get off mute. I practice getting off mute all day today. Hi Heather, how are you? Just a quick
Hi.
question. I hate to throw the vibe out there, but being involved in a number of festivals, is this a rain or shine event?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
We actually have good forecasts for this weekend.
I know. I kept expecting it to change, on knock on wood, but it looks great. Oh.
All right, are there any other questions for Heather? Shelley? You're on mute, Shelley. You're on mute.
I'm just curious, Heather, why you didn't submit your proposal earlier in the year, given that you've already received funding in the last 2 years. It's happening so quickly.
Yeah.
I'm just curious why.
I hear you. Actually, I heard the remarks earlier when you were all talking about how you feel the process is going too quickly. I can't give you an explanation because it was presented to me as something that needed to be applied for. I think in April is when I first saw it. But keeping in mind there was no one in my job handling the grants and the development work of our organization. We have one paid part-time organizational assistant, and she does the work of 10 people. And my understanding is that it was, honestly, it was passed along just kind of as a matter of, this deadline is coming up, can you get it in? But having said all of that, my intention is to start working on next year's festival on Monday, June 3rd, which is the first day after this. And my colleague, who's now the chair of events, who's also incoming, feels the same way, that we have, in our effort to grow the organization and maybe just figure things out, waited far too long every year to start the festival and parade planning. So this is going to be a year-round thing for me. And as soon as your application comes up, as soon as it's out there and you're accepting it, we'll be one of the first people to hand it in next year. I can assure you.
Yeah, so I have one more question. I'm just curious if you've ever submitted a proposal this late. I know what you just said, that there was, but I've worked in the nonprofit world for many years, and I just can't imagine how. I'm just asking you from just a philosophical understanding, how you could, the organization in general. I know you just came on.
Mm-hmm.
Have there been other grants that you've applied to, with just a couple days in advance notice?
I'm sorry, Shelley. It was not just a couple days in advance. It was not.
Okay, how about 2 weeks or a month?
Well, a month. Yes, and
that's crazy time.
it is.
Just what I
I'm
want.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry, Lynn. I'm talking. I'm just curious about the organization, if that's something that's standard. And I know you say you want to change it, but are your predecessors?
Well, as I say, there
She
was
did not have predecessors. She didn't have predecessors. There was no staff before her, except the one admin person.
Okay, well, they got funding last year and the year before that. So where were those people?
So we're a working board. I can tell you who did it in years past, a gentleman named Eric Lund, who some of you might know, who I just spoke with tonight. We had our first Pride event tonight at Forward Brewing downtown. But what I said, just to clarify, is the person who the development committee chair was absent. There was no one in that position. And that is traditionally the person who does the grant management. And so for a number of months, there has not been someone, and that only explains this year. I can't explain what happened in years before. I only joined in March, But I recognize certainly it is not best practice. It puts people like yourselves in a difficult position. And I did not want to, create this environment or this situation, but we are a young organization. We don't have a big budget or even a budget to speak of. And this is our big annual event that brings the community together. And so I think that in this case, even if people knew it was pushing it by getting it in so close to the deadline, it's really what we had to do to make sure that the festival, turns out the way that we want it to. But I can assure you it won't happen again.
Okay, thank you, Heather. Barbara, you have a question, your hand's up.
Yes. Hi, Heather.
Hi.
Hi. I see that you guys are requesting 10,000. So I was just wondering, breakdown, is that for the artist fees, performers fees?
Let me shut my window. I apologize. I'm sorry about that. So yes, the fees that we're paying more than $10,000 in artist fees. I'm not sure the exact number. I can get that for you. And I don't know, Lynn, maybe you could speak to this. We did submit a budget to you as part of the proposal packet. And I can go back and look at that and resubmit. I know you're going to vote tonight though, so I don't know if that's helpful.
No, I have your application it has the request for 10,000. I was just wondering how that part is broken down in terms of are they fees? Are they for musicians? That kind of thing, because I don't see it here.
The 10,000 will cover, I think, around 85% of our fees for the performance lineup, for the talent, and for the AV support that we need for all of the acts as well.
So the budget that you submitted showed $18,000 in artist fees, and you were asking us for 10,000 of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay. So
thanks, Heather.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Are there any other questions? Thank you, Heather. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.
Everyone. Thank you for everything you're doing. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Alrighty. Bye-bye. Okay. Alrighty. Madeline, can you bring Allison forward, please?
Yep, she will be on in a second. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. How are you?
And Allison, I do have your documents.
Okay,
So,
thank you. I
yeah.
had to my phone because my computer just kept crashing with Zoom. So who knows what's going on, but normal stuff. So hi, everyone. I'm Allison from And Creative. We are in charge of running Annapolis Arts Week and Anne Arundel Arts Month this year, which does begin this weekend. What do you got up? Okay, so this screen that Lynn has up is a breakdown of the budget. We're asking for $5,000 to help with expenses incurred for the Annapolis Arts Hub, which is a brand new thing this year. It's a arts-focused pop-up providing free events for the community, and it's a free space for artists and performers and organizations to present their works. So we had a call for artists a few months back, and we got lots of really good submissions. We've got, I just wrote it down, I think it's 22 events happening in the hub throughout the week of June 1st through 7th. And then we've got a few events that we're running ourselves. So those are coming out of pocket right now for us. The reason for the late ask, just because I know the question will be asked, we thought we had a sponsor for this, for all these events that we were planning ourselves. And at the 11th hour, they dropped out because it was a corporate decision. It was nothing against us. They said next year they're all in, but they decided this year they wanted to go a different direction. So we're asking for 5,000 to help cover some of the expenses of signage, to pay artists to do different live arts, painting and whatnot. Also for supplies, we're going to have some interactive art stations throughout the week for all ages to come in, make and take kind of art things. So it's all broken down in that budget doc. And then there's another sheet, Lynn, if you can pull that up. It says what's happening at the Annapolis Arts Hub. That is just a breakdown, so you can kind of see the full schedule and everything that's happening, everything that people will be able to interact with throughout the week. So you can kind of see how this funding can help us to create a really vibrant space. It's going to be vibrant no matter what, but it'll just help us cover the expenses that are incurred for some of these events that are coming up. Do you have that one, Lynn? Oh, I can't hear you. I think you're muted. I can't hear
I only
you.
have one document. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I only have one document. I'm looking
I
back
follow-up email a minute ago.
through the emails. Yeah, I only see the one.
Okay.
I'm clicking on both of them, but there's the same. The two
Oh, did I
files are
send?
the same. Yeah, the two files are the same.
Here we go. Yay. Oh,
So
yeah,
while
do it. I did.
Allison is pulling that up, commission, are there any questions from the commission? Joan?
I think correct me if I'm wrong, I think I might have to recuse myself because my organization is participating in Arts Hub. Just a question, anyone?
Are you going to be paid?
No.
Then no, you will not benefit financially.
Yeah,
Or-
so just to clarify, the money that we're asking for is for specific events. So Joan, the Providence Center thing that you're doing, that is free and clear. You guys aren't getting paid, you aren't paying us.
You know what, Joan, though, let me take that back because we did ask David to recuse himself in a previous meeting about the Kunta Kinte Festival, and he's not benefiting financially from that.
Nor have I ever benefited.
So
Probably the
it's
other
not-
way around, David.
I wouldn't even say that, but yes, Jim.
So right. So Joan, let's stay with that since that happened in our last meeting, and we should review with the Office of Law the appropriate policies for recusals. And here's what I'll say, Joan. Here's what I'll say to everyone. Jim has developed some bylaws. We will review them in our work session. That will help us with a lot of this, but we've never had them before. So, yeah. So Joan, no questions from you. Are there any questions from David?
Yeah, just I'm trying to take notes as well and pay attention to you. Can you tell me a little bit more about the Art Hub and a little more detail about that, please?
Yeah, sure. So the idea came about in a hive mind session that we had over a year ago with some community members, and everyone one of the things that came to the surface that was a doable ask or idea was this Arts Hub to have a central location. It's in the Arts District. We've rented space at the Lightbox Studio, which is right across the street from Lighthouse Bistro. So it's the livery building with the big curved archway.
Okay.
So we got the first floor the first week for Arts Week. And it's a community space. So we are building it out to present all kinds of different events. And the ballet will be there. We're gonna have interactive art exhibits. We're having our kickoff party there on this Friday. There'll be some art demos, a poetry reading. So there's 22 events happening there, and all those artists had to apply. And we chose and programmed which ones worked for the space, and then all the events are free to the public. So there's lots of children's friendly events too. So it's all ages, all kinds of things, all kinds of arts. We're trying to represent all the art forms, not just visual arts. And it's also a place for the community to learn about why art is important to our community and the financial benefits it has for the community.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Shelley.
I'm just gonna ask the same question that I did with Heather. Why did you wait so long to apply for funding?
Joan asked that question, or she answered it in her presentation. I'm sorry, Joan did not ask a question. She answered in her presentation.
Well, can I hear it again, please?
Yeah,
Sure.
so we thought we were already fully funded for these events, and at the last minute, just a couple weeks ago, the sponsor that we had, their corporate level folks decided that this year was not the they want to support us next year. So we lost that 5,000 that we thought we already had. So we had already planned all these things, and
okay, yes, I understand. I remember that. Yes, okay. Got it.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, alrighty. Thank you, Allison, so much. We'll be in touch very soon.
All right, thanks so
Alrighty.
much.
Take care.
You too.
Alrighty, back to our agenda. The financial report. Let me share my screen so you all can see that. Okay. Alrighty. So,
You skipped over the Stuart White presentation.
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry. I sure did. Alrighty. Jim, can you talk about
I'll be
the
very
Stuart?
quick. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
Can you talk about the project? It's not a presentation. Can you talk about the,
I'm ready to
hang on
talk.
a second. Hang on just one real quick. I want to introduce this. Just because we have a couple of new members on the board, I want to introduce it so that we're all on the same page and everybody understands the project in the same way. Many years ago, the Art in Public Places commissioned a mural that is along the walkway between City Hall and the City Hall office building, or the city office building on Gorman Avenue. It was commissioned by us. It was our project. And so, and we do set aside, or not set aside, I shouldn't say that. We do commit each year to funding restoration and maintenance of works of art that we have commissioned. Thus, Stuart White has submitted a proposal, not a proposal, but a budget. And so I would like for us to consider that budget. The documents were all in the Google folder. And we've had this discussion a number of times, but go ahead but we've been talking about this for a while. So now we're ready. And Jim, go ahead. I'm sorry.
At last, we bring this to the table. I have met with Mr. White. Cynthia and I met with him, and we looked at the mural and realized that there was some damage to it, and there was fungus growing on it, or mold, and it was also aged in a lot of ways. So Mr. White, who at the time he originally painted it was well known for his murals at the Naval Academy, and had done some amazingly interesting World War II murals. He is now known worldwide as a plein air painter, a architectural watercolorist, and he has done a lot of competitions and whatever. He has agreed to come back to Annapolis and repair this mural and update it slightly. by changing some colors and adding a few things to it. And he's included all of that in his fee. He and I will probably do most of the work, or he will do most of the work. I'll stay out of his way, but I'll be there to help. And our goal is to remove the mold, stabilize the ground in front of the mural, because the mural touches the ground, or it goes down to ground level. And we have to separate it with a trench and a stone filled with stone. And we will paint the lower part of it in a dark green to conceal any future mold that might come about. It'll also be treated with chemicals, and it will be made so that it will be quite a bit longer lasting. This mural is approximately 18 and a half years old, and it was the first mural painted in the city of Annapolis. And it was inspired by Mayor Moyer, who committed to it and got the first AIPPC commission to endorse it. Ultimately, it was approved by HPC, and Mr. White is now ready to go. He's been traveling, and he would like to get started in the month of June and hopefully finish within about 2 weeks. I have sent, I believe, to everyone on the commission his picture, his bio, and a picture of the mural as it exists. He's making some modifications, and those are in an email I sent to everybody on the commission today. That doesn't affect his cost at this point. The total for his work is $9,865. And he is in need of a $4,000 deposit because we have to buy chemicals, and we have to buy stone and a number of other items in order to prepare the mural, and then to begin to allow the beginning of the retouching and repainting in the areas that are needed. If anyone has questions, I believe, Lynn, we have it all in the folder.
It is all in the folder, and
Okay.
yes, all of those documents are in the folder, except the one you sent today.
Yes.
But all the other documents are in the folder, along with his bio and the budget. So thank you, Jim, for that. And yes, Shelley.
Jim, I love the mural. I see it. I live like a block from it, and I walk by it through the parking lot. It's beautiful, and it totally needs to be repaired. I'm in complete support of this. My question, and it's not even necessarily a concern, is that the surrounding area, because I go back in there, is like covered, with trees and branches. I don't know, you guys must have talked about that, because part of the thing is you can't see it because it's covered by foliage. And I just wondered if Parks and Recs, were involved in trying to like scoop away a lot of what's in front of it so that it can be more visible, even when you're working on it, so you have like a clear like access to like laying down the foundation, etc.
I'm not sure that Park and Recs maintains that
Oh, okay.
piece of landscaping. I believe it is maintained by the Public Works Department.
Okay.
And I'm not sure we can take down trees.
It's not trees.
But-
It's branches. It's just things in front of it. Like, I mean, that's why you can't really see it.
I'm going to be doing a lot of that work, and it'll be above the mural and behind it a little bit. It's on city property. There's some things that have grown over.
Right.
The problem was that we removed a friend of mine, the man who actually inspired this mural, Steve Carr, went up and we removed ivy from growing up on the front of the mural.
Right.
And that created a little damage. So we stopped doing that, and Mr. White is going to repair that damage and then paint over it and make it look all one consistent new mural. So we do have a lot of work to do there, but it's, gardening work and painting. I do the
Okay.
gardening, he does the painting. And I dig the ditch and he tells me what to do.
Right. No, but it's good because the gardening, I think, is part of it, because when I walk by it and I see like the potential for what is growing up around it, and that covers it. That's part of the why people can't see it.
One of the biggest problems in this region is the English ivy that has basically escaped big houses, and now it's all over in the forests and all over private property.
Thank you, Jim.
Really an issue.
Okay.
But we don't need to go into.
Yeah, we
that's
don't need to
something
go
we're
into that.
We're
Okay.
aware.
Yes. All righty. Thank you, Jim. Are there any other questions for Jim? All righty. So I will now go to the financial report. Thank you for that reminder, Jim. All righty. So you will see on the screen and in the Google folder that thus far this year we have allocated expenditures totaling $195,070. We started the year with $264,157. The proposals that are before us this evening total $24,865. And currently we have remaining in our budget $69,087. So, and then, so we know that we want to hold some money aside for, to help us cover the cost of whatever it is we're going to do with the Westgate Circle. We don't need to have the complete $50,000. I will say, I will make that caveat. We will get another allocation on on July 1 when the council passes the budget, and we are trending, and we'll also likely have a few extra dollars that will be received in hotel tax funds over and above the $264,000. So that would be a small amount, probably under $10,000, but still there. And so so what I'll say is the hotel tax is trending upward, which is not surprising since travel is up all over the country. So we shouldn't be surprised about that. But are there any questions?
Yes, I just have to ask again. I thought that Westgate was allocated 50,000. We said that last meeting. I just want to make sure that's still happening.
That is, and
Okay.
but we do not have to hold $50,000. We do not have to end the year with $50,000 to have the $50,000 to spend once we make a decision, because we are not going to even talk about it until next month.
But what would be really great is if the 50 would roll over, and there would be even more money in that.
Well, we will make that decision, but we shouldn't make our decision on, here's what I'm saying. We should not make the decision on how much we fund these three groups, or the mural, or the two groups based on the fact that we may be a few $1,000s short of the 50,000. That's all I'm saying, because we are going to get some additional funding from the we are going to get some additional funding because the hotel tax collected has been more than anticipated at the beginning of the fiscal year. Yes, Joan.
So just to clarify, are you saying that if we approve the proposals for this evening, we would have 44,222 going into June
If we approve the proposals
as stated right now, but
as, right, in the
69
entire,
minus 24,865, right?
is 44,000, yes, then we would have 44,000. And to roll over into next year. Okay, are there any other questions? I'm gonna stop
Wanted to
sharing
make
this.
a comment. At our business meeting, I'll try to provide the information. I think I passed it on to Lynn already, but I may not have. There is money available from the Maryland State Arts Council and a number of other sources to support what we might do with Westgate Circle. We need to get a little more picture as to what we're thinking about, and we can do that at our business meeting when we discuss it. But I would like us to keep that in mind. My original thought was we were putting $50,000 a year aside and not spending that.
That's
But
right.
I understand the need for getting this stuff done this year. But we'll work that out, and I think it's something that we can manage down the road and still be able to use the funds that we get by allocation. And we'll have ample money at the time we need.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll wait for Joan's report. She's the chair of the grants committee, so, and she may have a little information to share
You probably
with
got the
us
whole
this evening.
picture.
Okay, so, are there any other questions?
Can
Yes,
I
Shelley.
take a vote on whether or not to maintain the 50, even if it's rolling over?
You're making a motion.
I'm
you're making
making
a-
a motion.
What is your motion?
To maintain 50 even this year if it's rolling over despite the proposals tonight and the money we're allocating.
Okay, is there a second to Shelley's motion to hold back $50,000 for the Westgate Circle? Is there a second? Okay, thank you.
Time to ask, that was a long time ago.
Thank you. All righty. That I think that ends my report because I know that Barbara has some stuff in her report that I thought was going to be in my report, and Joan has some things to share that that initially I had thought would be in my report. So I think that ends my report unless there are any other questions on our financial status. All righty, thank you. Barbara.
Thank you, Lynn.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. We're going to make the awards decisions first.
Yeah, next on the
Do we
agenda.
want to do that first? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so let's make the award decisions first. And I will entertain a motion on any of the projects we discussed this evening.
Well, I move that we move forward with the Pride Festival allocation.
Thank you.
We can discuss the amount. If you want.
Okay. Well, but no, if you're going to make a motion.
I'm moving that we fund it.
For how much?
As they requested.
Okay, thank you. Dollars. Is there a second?
I second it.
Thank you, Barbara. Alrighty, we're probably going to need a roll call for this. So David, can you do the roll call? You have to come off mute. Okay.
Got to do that and flip the page too. I got a page for roll call. All right, Lynn.
Yes.
What was the amount again? I'm sorry.
17.
$10,000.
David said 17. Is it 10 or 17?
10,000. Sorry, $10,000.
$10,000 was the request to AIPPC. My vote is yes.
Okay, David, yes. Chris is not here. Jim,
Yes.
Cynthia,
No.
Joan,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Carries. Okay, $10,000. Thank you. Is there, I will entertain another motion. for either the mural or for Art Farm.
I
And
would-
Art Farm's request was 5,000 and the mural is $9,865.
I make a motion that we support the mural in the amount that I sent out in the proposal, 9,000, whatever that was.
$9,865.
Right.
Is
Thank
there
you.
a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joan. Okay, are there any questions? Is everyone ready for the question? Okay, David, if you could do the roll call, please.
Lynn,
Yes.
David, yes. Jim,
Yes,
Cynthia,
Yes.
Joan,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
Motion carried as well.
Thank you. Motion carries.
It's very important, Jim. I like your
thank you.
distance.
Thank you all very much. I've worked hard on this.
Yes. Jim has been waiting for this for a long time. And so has Cynthia, actually. She's been after
Yes.
us to repair that mural for a very long time. So yay,
It
we
cost us
did it.
one lunch already.
We did it. We did it. All righty. Are there any other motions?
We have a motion, we had a request from Art Hub.
Art
from
Farm.
Art
Mhm.
Farm for the Art Hub.
Yes,
And
Okay.
how much was that request?
5,000.
All right, I would move that we support Art Hub's request for 5,000.
Is there a second?
Second,
Thank you, David.
Discussion?
Excuse me. Hang on. Are we ready for the question? No. Okay. I'm assuming not. We are not ready for the question.
No, I'm thinking that it should be 3,500.
Well, we have to vote on
Okay.
the motion
Got
that's
it.
on the floor. Mhm. Okay. Are there any other questions before I call the question? Okay, so it has been moved and properly seconded to fund Art Farm for $5,000 for the Arts Hub during Arts Month. David, please call the roll.
Lynn,
Yes.
David, yes. Jim,
Yes,
Cynthia,
No.
Joan,
Abstain?
that's sort of a no.
Recuse?
Oh, right,
You're
recuse. She's
recusing,
recusing
okay.
herself.
Not, it would
Yeah,
really be
they're recused, not abstain, recuse,
not.
right.
abstain.
Not voting.
Yeah, not voting. Shelley,
No,
Barbara,
Yes.
And motion carries.
motion carries. 1, 2, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, 4-2. With one no vote.
2 no.
Alrighty. Thank you all so very much. Let me just fill in the spreadsheet here.
It was,
So we have I have an accurate count. And Joan, how much did you say that was? 44,000 that we will have left in our coffers. So I will make the finance department aware.
It was
That we will-
44,222.
44,222. Thank you, Joan. I will make the finance department aware that we will carry over $44,222 into next year. Alrighty, are we ready for committee reports?
Yes.
No one's, okay, alrighty. Fine Arts Committee, Barbara.
Thank you, Lynn. Okay, I sent the April one. That's what happens when you name the file the same name. But this one has been updated to fall 2024, and the deadline, if you look at it, is July 5th now, as opposed to the other date when we were supposed to meet in April. It's basically the same application and guideline. The two major.
Barbara, hang on a second. Can you back up a little bit for the public? Can you back up a little bit for the public and let them know
Sure.
we're talking about the poet laureate?
Yes.
Propose, okay. Go ahead.
Yes. We're talking about the guidelines and application for the Poet Laureate for the City of Annapolis for 2024 to 2026. The guidelines have been edited to include 2 revisions. The application nominee age has been raised from 18 to 21. And we have a new requirement that at least one person to recommend the person for Poet Laureate. And there's a form which includes the relationship to the nominee, personal, professional, academic, address, and any contact information. Those are the 2 big pieces of changes to the document. And of course, the dates. The date this year will be effective the fall of 2024. The reason for that is we're usually out of the office in August, the City of Annapolis. So we don't meet in August to vote. So the July-August timeframe is going to be used for the subcommittee to review and to interview the finalists for Poet Laureate and to make the recommendation to the commission in September's meeting. And then that will be forwarded to the mayor's office for the official announcement as per our procedures from the past. Do you guys have any questions?
I have a suggestion.
Hey, Joan has her hand up. Joan, go ahead. And then Jim, I'll come to you right after that.
Thanks, Barbara. Just a quick question. Where will the finalized application be located that people can find it easily?
Once it gets approved, it'll be on our website, the city's website. And we're going, Cynthia, if you wanted to help chime in too, we're going to work with the city for, I guess, the press release. That's what happened last time. And that usually goes out to the Capitol. I think the Patch also did it last year. And we can always follow up to make sure that those go out there. And of course, we send a blast to our contacts, and we always ask everyone on the commission to forward it as well.
Okay, very good. Jim.
Yes, in 3 places in the guidelines, Barbara, it uses the terms her, his, her, and his, her. I would like to see us be gender neutral or find language like their, as opposed to using the binary code that we use now, or that's in here now. I think that would be appropriate if we take those 2 terms out and put a neutral word like their, THEIR.
Or they, them, yeah.
They,
Right?
them, yeah.
Or they, them.
They, them.
Thanks, Lynn.
Document was originally 2018, so thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. That's a good catch. So I will go back to the document, the 3 places where it says fulfill her/his term to their, they, and them. Is that what you're saying, Jim? They and them?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll do that. And then I will resend that to everyone, just so that you see officially that it's been changed. And when it goes to the mayor's office, all those changes will be there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice job.
Thank you.
Barbara, this is coming from a committee, so we don't need a motion. Wait, right, we don't need a second. We just need to vote. So the committee has proposed that we accept their application for publication for a new Poet Laureate. And all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is there any opposition? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you, Barbara. Then you have a couple more things too, right?
Yes, thank you, Lynn. I have updates on City Hall and Pip Moyer's current exhibits. At City Hall, we have artist Chris Potts exhibit entitled New Old Bay. It's on now through June 26th. The reception, this is what's important. Hopefully you guys can attend. I'm planning to on June 10th. It's a Monday from 5 to 6:30 at City Hall. And Chris is inspired by Maryland's farmlands, oceans, and historical still life. So let's go down and support Chris on the 10th. In addition, at PIP, we have Yoli Aviles, and her exhibit is entitled My Art from 1984 to the Present, and it's currently on view through June 30th. It's a mix of paintings and prints. She's inspired by whimsical pop artists such as Keith Haring, Romero Brito, and her reception will be on June 2nd, which is a Sunday, from 2:30 to 4 at Pip Moyer. So hopefully we can get some commissioners to come out and support our artists. And that's all I.
Thank you. I plan to attend both of them. I hope that if you don't have a conflict on your calendar, that all of you will do the same. Roz, I know what Roz is going to ask me. We're going to come to that. But Roz, is that what you're going to ask me about the quilt?
No, I was going to ask,
Oh.
I don't think we put it on our Facebook page, the reception. So if someone will send us that information, we could put it on our Facebook page, unless I missed it, but I'm usually all over our Facebook page.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Barbara, would
We'll
you
make
be
su-
the one to
we'll-
send me that, or?
Sure, Roz, I'll send you both for both artists.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you so much, Roz. That's a great point.
Barbara,
Jim,
what
Oh.
time was the June 10th reception?
For Chris Potts, it's 5 to 6:30.
Okay, great.
thank you.
Actually, can you repeat the time in a date and a time for the Pip Moyer? I'm sorry.
Sure. For Yoli, and I can spell that for you, Yolie, last name Aviles, Aviles. And her reception is Sunday, June 2nd, 2:30 to 4 p.m.
2:30.
Great.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Also, Roz and I are working to get the AIDS quilt hung. And as soon as we have all that worked out and what day, Roz, did the package come today? Do you know?
I have to check with Michelle. I'm not sure. She didn't let me know if it came in.
Okay,
But,
they shipped it a week ago Tuesday, so.
Yeah, I have to check and no, you know what? It came in last week, actually. I think she said it's a big container.
Oh, okay, so it must have come on Friday after I left.
I think so.
All
I
right.
have to double check. I'll let you know if
Okay.
we have any problems, but I think it's
Okay.
there.
So I went over to the rec center on Friday. We have been working with Jamie Shepard, who submitted the application. And I sent 3 recommendations for places to hang to you, Roz. So
Yeah, one won't work because we won't cover up the donor
True.
piece. There's a young lady who I think she passed when she was in her 20s, and her brother works out at the gym, and every time he passes, he gives her a kiss and touches it.
Okay. I figured there would be something
Yeah.
that we couldn't even cover it for a month. Okay, so let me know about the other 2 spaces.
Yeah, I'll let you know
I know
tomorrow.
one
I
is
think your
obviously
I'm thinking about your first choice, but I'll let you know tomorrow.
okay, that's great. And I know that one is obviously easier maybe than the other, but I know that you guys know how to work magic. And I didn't include your staff on the email, but I know that they know how to work magic. Alrighty. Jim, we've heard from you. Do you have any other mural things to report?
No, I don't have anything at the moment.
Okay.
I have had conversation with Art Walk about some damage to their murals, not damage, but just they need maintenance, but it's minor stuff. And Chuck Walsh and I will work that out. And I'm going to begin a more serious review during the summer of all the murals and then have an extensive report in the fall about what's cooking and what's not, and, what we need to do.
Very good, thank you.
That's it.
And just to update everyone, the invoice for the mural at the Parole Health Center was submitted to the finance department. So they should be getting that payment. And I believe that they were starting the work and going to finish by, I think, this weekend. So it takes about 3 weeks for a check to come through. So as soon as they're finished they should have their check. And Joan.
Hello. A very short discussion of the grants committee update. First is that I noticed just started doing preliminary research, and a lot of the deadlines have passed for this year. However, I am scheduled to attend the Maryland State Arts Council information sessions, particularly the one on the grants for organizations. And second, I realize I don't have any historical knowledge of what we've done in the past, who from where we've received grants in the past, and wondering if anyone can provide me with that information.
As far as I know, Art in Public Places has never received a grant. David would know for sure.
Yeah, that's going way. I mean, ever. That's yeah, we got to dig for that one. We got to do Nate Reuters of the Lost Art kind of thing and kind of go back.
Barbara has her hand up. I would just feel I don't know, if I say, hey, I have a great idea, and then someone says, oh yeah, we did that last year, and blah blah blah.
It's been a while since we received any grants. We may have applied for some stuff, but it's been a while since we actually received anything.
All right, so then the field's wide open.
Okay. So. Barbara has her hand up. I'm gonna give her the floor.
Yeah, thanks, Lynn. Joe, who was our secretary, he was in charge of the grants subcommittee, and we still have Joe's email. I can reach out to Joe, or I could give you Joe's email, Joan, because I think there was one grant that we did get from the state of Maryland. It vaguely, David, you might remember. I mean, it's way back when Genevieve were first on the commission. So I just know there's like one thing. So maybe I'll forward you his email, Joan, if you want to reach out to him and ask him, since he
I appreciate that, Barbara. Thank you.
Okay, we'll do.
Cynthia was probably chair then. She may remember too. Cynthia, yes.
Is everybody familiar with the mosaic in front of the Fleet Reserve Club? Okay, we applied for, we put out an RFP. We applied for a grant. We got matching funds, and we were going to continue that mosaic along Compromise Street. But because that whole area is going to be obviously renovated with the flooding mitigation, we did receive $2,000. That is still grant money in our fund that was never matched and never returned. I believe it needs to go back to the Arts Council of Anne Arundel County. So in the past, we did do more applying for grants, and that mosaic was the last grant that we received, and we successfully completed the.
You said we successfully completed the project, but we didn't use 2,000. I mean, can you explain the 2,000? We didn't use $2,000 of the money.
The mosaic in front of Compromise Street was completed with grant funding, and then the project was going to be continued, like in front of the old faucets, that old brick wall, the knee wall, and we actually received 2,000. And you can see in the budget is still there, but it was never matched, and the project was never able to move forward. So it has to actually be returned from out of
our. So they sent us a check for the 2,000 before the.
Right, and it went over to the Michelle Cross knows about it. It went over to Pitt Moyer, and it was not returned because it was not matched, but also because the project is not able to proceed.
Okay, all right, I will check with Michelle on that. I'll check with Michelle and Roz, just if you can, when you talk to Michelle tomorrow, can you ask her to look into that? Thank you. This is the first I'm hearing that we did not return funding that should have been returned. So we'll look into it. Thank you, Cynthia. All righty. David, do you have any public outreach?
Yeah, can you hear my cool? Oh, obviously June, this week is a lot's going on. There's a music festival at Fairgrounds. It's basically festival season. One of the things I've done with my contacts, folks who I know are involved in festivals, I'm a member of the Bay Bridge Reconstruction Advisory Committee, which looks into the Bay Bridge traffic and some of the impacts they have in closing various lanes, which creates more and more traffic. And a lady named Melissa Brogdon, who was one of the secretaries, I guess, there, sends out a report every day, every week, basically starting Thursday. And I've started to send that out to some of my friends. And I'm going to put that link in our email. And it essentially lets you know the best times to travel over the bridge and various road closures that will impact traffic. Because if you've ever tried to travel eastbound on a Saturday after 10 o'clock, even coming from DC area, it's a line of traffic that extends back to the Davidsonville exit. So, and it may impact people who are coming here for the weekends, for the various festivals and going on. So I will put a link to that. And it's basically every Thursday she sends it out with an update of any of the traffic patterns that are changing. A lot of people use those access roads on the side roads, Whitehall Road and all that kind of stuff. They're closing those up. So obviously there's going to be more traffic coming and going. For people coming to the Eastern Shore, coming to Maryland, it'll impact you as well. As eastbound and westbound traffic will be impacted basically during the weekend, during summer season, based on some of the road closures that there, and we'll call them the other road closures that will impact the traffic going over the Bay Bridge.
The closures keep people from going through the neighborhoods, coming off coming off of 50 and going through the neighborhood and then coming back onto 50 right before
there are
the
parallel
bridge.
roads that run past 50 that you see that basically the people who live there can't go out to the store because there's so much traffic because folks are jumping off the main 50 to go to the little side road to kind of take a shortcut to alleviate 3 feet of traffic. So, and it kind of backs up traffic of the folks who live there, not to mention emergency and first responders as well. So, and that'll affect, and these traffic patterns affect both eastbound and westbound traffic. So if you're coming from the Eastern Shore to an event in Annapolis, you will also be impacted. So I'll put a link to these reports in our email here, and you can just, if you have somebody, somebody's involved in the event, then, obviously this week is you got the Fairgrounds is having a festival, Let's Go Music Festival. There's a Greek festival happening this weekend as well, June 1st. Obviously Annapolis Pride Parade is going on. And there's also a play at Maryland Hall going on June 1st. So everything's happening in June.
Wonderful. So hopefully there'll be lots of people coming westbound.
Well, it doesn't really matter, Lynn. If you're coming westbound after a certain time, it's going to be traffic.
Oh, I know. Trust me. I do know that on a Saturday too. So if you're going to
do a helicopter, you may want to make some money.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that, David. And
Jim, did you have a question? I'm sorry.
I do have a question. How do we let the public know about these various organizations and activities that we're funding? Shouldn't that come through our public outreach committee? Shouldn't we do like Facebook page and have that, more extensive outreach to the public from the AIPPC through a Facebook page and through press releases and so forth?
Maybe we should work with the city, David.
Let's talk about this at our business meeting.
Yeah, but maybe we can since we've done 6 awards in the last few weeks, maybe we can have Mitchell do a press release for us to get the word out. That's a good idea. Thank you, Jim. And I have asked that when we get our new member from ward, I'm going to say the wrong ward, so I won't say it. When we get our new member, when the mayor appoints a new member, that it be someone who likes to do social media. I haven't talked to Krista about it, but I know she's avid. She's avid about posting on social media. So maybe we can convince her to help us a little bit too. Alrighty. Is there any new business?
I didn't even think about it.
Okay. Is there any old business? Oh, we need to do the work session agenda. So if you have items for that agenda, please send them to me. Barbara, as the meeting started, we talked about, as we have talked about this work session, we talked about starting earlier so that we would have more time and we wouldn't be 11 o'clock at night. Because this will be an in-person meeting. So let's gather at 5:30 for a light appetizer like dinner. And then the meeting will start at 6. And that'll be at the Pitt Moyer Rec Center.
Okay.
Okay.
Lynn, do you have a deadline for agenda items need to be sent to you?
We should have all of them by, let's say by June 10th. Cynthia, you have your hand up.
Well, I just wanted to give an update about the summer concert series. This past Sunday, we had very successful program, and it varied between, I would say, 250 to 350. A lot of folks from the Harbor Queen and the other ship were constantly feeding new participants. There was a lot of dancing, salsa. It was hugely popular. A lot of families, all ages. There was one problem because there was supposed to be 3 tables delivered and they were going to be locked up with the chairs. The chairs were there, but there were no tables. So I do want to take this opportunity to give a shout out because I walked over to Latitude and they were very generous. They let me use 2 folding tables. So, very nice favor they did. So anyway, it was a grand success. Weather held out. It was perfect. And a lot of fun was had by all who attended.
Thank you, Cynthia. Okay, so yes, if everyone could get their recommendations for the agenda for our work session to me by June 10th, that would be great. Roz.
Thank you. Cynthia, did you let Rodney know that? I don't think I saw an email saying the tables weren't there because someone may have taken them.
I did. Rodney had said he was going to lock them on with the chairs, and they were not there. So I checked over at the Harbor Masters building, and they looked around for them. Checked at the visitors center kiosk. They were not found. So he did
But
say
did you
he
let
was.
Rodney know? Is why I'm asking if you let Rodney know because I feel like he may have dropped them off and someone took them. So that's why I'm asking.
They were not down there. I did a thorough search, and today was obviously the first business day back, and I have not notified him that perhaps there are 3 missing tables if he did drop them off. The harbor master did not know anything about them.
Right. The harbor master wouldn't know about them if Rodney was the one dropping them off.
Okay. Alrighty.
The reason
Cynthia.
I wanted to share with everyone on June 19th, we are having our Juneteenth event at the Maritime Museum. It's going to be a Carl's Elktonia reunion. It's June 19th from 3 to 7 p.m. We have Sounds of Motown and Sounds of Philly don't quote me on Sounds of Philly. I know it Sounds of Motown. I forget the name of the group, but it'll be all the kind of oldies but goodies that they used to play at Carr's Beach. 3 to 7, it's going to be free to the public. You have to park at the Giant, and we'll have a shuttle going back and forth. Accessible parking will be at the location. So it's just going to be an awesome event. It will be the official kickoff for the city's Juneteenth functions. So we'll have a ribbon cutting and all those sorts of things leading up to the actual Juneteenth event at Bates, as well as the parade that they have. So it's going to be a fun time. Everyone's invited. And that's it. We'll have food
Thank
trucks
you.
there too. We'll have food trucks too. And we'll have people who will take historical accounts and people's memories of when they attended the Carr's Beach and, you know, what they remember. We also have Mr. C, who's going to be on the microphone. We think Mr. Blum, and then someone from Hoppy Adams family will be there as well. So it's growing and it's getting pretty big. So I'm excited. We're not widely promoting it because we're hoping to keep the number to about 500 people or so.
Okay,
But
awesome.
tell your friends.
Yes. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna be out of town.
Where's the event going to take place? I'm sorry. Where?
It's at
June
the
19th?
Maritime Museum. Maritime Museum is right across from Cars Elktonia. It'll be under the pavilion there. And people are going back and forth to Cars Elktonia. And we have the kind of whole footprint there.
So it's a
It's on
maritime.
Edgewood Road.
Yes, on Edgewood Road.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
Yes. So there is a branch of the Annapolis Maritime Museum on Edgewood Road.
Yeah, I know that. I always think when you have events, you have them at the Maritime Museum. I didn't realize we were talking about the branch part. Okay.
Right. So
It's
Ellen
the
Moyer Park.
The Ellen Moyer Park is
Ellen Moyer Park. Yes.
that's a
Okay.
great pavilion, by the way.
Thank you for that, Roz. Does anyone else have any items for announcement? Okay. The only action item Cynthia.
I just wanted to give a shout out for the Spa Creek Swing Band this Sunday. The PR has historically always been our problem, getting the word out, and so we would really like to spread the word about the concert this coming Sunday.
Okay. I will make sure we have a post on our Facebook or on Facebook and Instagram. And if you all could share it, on your pages, that would be great. Okay, so that's an action item.
That would be
Okay.
good for our outreach committee too, to work on that. And I believe Eric Evans has a huge weekly summary of events in Annapolis. And I'm sure if we communicate with him, and Cynthia, and I'll give you the contact and everything, he would put it on there. And David,
Okay.
I'll let David know also.
That's great. So Jim, would you please share with him the summer concert series schedule?
Yes, I've already done that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Very
And I
good.
believe he's put them on his whatever announcements he does, but I'll check with him to make sure.
That'd be great. Thank you. Joan, you have something.
I'm sure you're all aware, but it's Annapolis Arts Week on top of everything else, June 2nd through 9th, and there will be plein air painters, including me, somewhere out there in the city, spreading paint around. And then it's a Arts Month in Anne Arundel County.
So are they going to do a sale at the end of the plein air, Joan?
Periodically throughout, there's a quick draw competition on Sunday, which it ends at City Dock. So the painters paint in the morning, and then the public is also invited to paint that morning. And then there's a little event at about, I think, 12:30 till 2 there, and judging and sales. And throughout the week, there are sales and events and receptions.
Awesome.
cool.
That is wonderful. If you send me the information, I'll put it on I'll post it on our social media. And I bought a piece of art one year that was the second prize. I mean, that was the number 2 prize winner at in the dueling brushes. And I have it hung in my office, and people come in all the time and admire it. So you know, you can get some beautiful pieces of artwork, and it's great to see all over the country coming to paint all around. So I hope that people will be out and about this weekend. Pride, the plein air, there's so many things going on. Thank you. So thank you for that, Joan. That's excellent. So I have 2 action items. One is social media for the Sunday concert series. The other one is that I need to make sure that I send the notice of award to all of our recipients this evening and to Mr. Pace. So I will get those out. I'm not going to promise I'll get them out tonight, but I will get them out hopefully tomorrow. Are there any other items for action items that we need to take care of other than getting the agenda items to me by June 10th for our next meeting? All right. I will entertain a motion.
This is David. I entertain a motion to conclude our meeting.
Second. You don't need a
I'll-
second. We just adjourned. Now we just adjourned.
Yes. We can adjourn.
There's no vote.
There's no. Okay. All right. Good night, everyone. It is
Night, everyone.
8:42. I give you back 15 minutes.
17 minutes.
Yes.